The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Kevin stepped to the podium, his weathered face betraying nothing. Behind him, a holographic display flickered to life, showing casualty statistics from the recent Kethros incursion. The numbers made the assembled delegates shift uncomfortably in their seats. "Impossible," hissed the Vraxian representative, his triple-jointed limbs clicking against his seat. "No species maintains such ratios. Your data must be corrupted, human." Kevin smiled thinly. "I assure you, Counselor Thexvar, our records are accurate. Perhaps a demonstration would prove more convincing than numbers." In the observation gallery above, Marine Sergeant Jennifer Reeves stood at parade rest, her dress blues immaculate despite the 3-month journey from Earth. She'd been briefed on why she was here, though the reasoning still seemed absurd. The galaxy's most advanced civilizations, species that had mastered interstellar travel for millennia, wanted to understand how humanity fought. More specifically, they wanted to understand how one human soldier could achieve what their entire battalions could not. "Sergeant Reeves," Kevin's voice echoed through the chamber, "please join us." Jennifer descended the curved stairway, her boots clicking against the crystal floor. 200 pairs of alien eyes tracked her movement. She'd faced down Kethros shock troops in the methane swamps of Talus IV without flinching, but this scrutiny made her skin crawl. "Counselors," Kevin gestured toward Jennifer, "this is Sergeant Jennifer Reeves, 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force. During the defense of Station Artemis, Sergeant Reeves was the sole Marine survivor of her 12-person squad. She held Corridor 7 for 16 hours against continuous Kethros assault." The counselor from Nexara, a being of pure energy contained in a crystalline shell, pulsed with what Jennifer had learned to recognize as skepticism. "One soldier. Against the Kethros. They are known for their ferocity and numbers." "Yes, counselor," Jennifer spoke for the first time, her voice steady. "I faced approximately 470 Kethros warriors during those 16 hours. The chamber erupted in clicking, buzzing, and various forms of alien disbelief. "And you survived," Thexvar leaned forward. "How many kills did you achieve?" 468 confirmed, Jennifer stated flatly. 2 escaped when I had to reload." The silence that followed was absolute. A Peltharian delegate, resembling a massive insectoid creature, stood on its 4 rear legs. "This is propaganda. No individual warrior, regardless of species, achieves such numbers. Our greatest champions manage perhaps 10 to 1 in optimal conditions." Kevin nodded to Jennifer. She'd expected this. From her tactical pouch, she withdrew a small data chip and inserted it into the chamber's main console. The holographic display shifted, showing helmet camera footage. The recording began. Corridor 7 on Station Artemis was a choke point, 20 meters long and 4 meters wide. The footage showed Jennifer's squad setting up defensive positions, placing charges, establishing firing lanes. Her squad leader, Gunnery Sergeant Marcus Chen, appeared in frame. "All right, Marines, they're coming up from the lower decks. Station's evacuation is 60% complete. We hold this corridor, we save 6,000 civilians. We break, they die. Simple math." The aliens watched as the first Kethros appeared at the far end of the corridor. The creatures were nightmarish, 3 meters of chitin-covered muscle, 4 arms ending in razor-sharp claws, mandibles that could crush steel. They moved with terrifying speed. The Marines opened fire. The counselors watched in fascination as the humans fought with coordinated precision. Every shot counted, every movement had purpose, but the Kethros kept coming, wave after wave. The Marine line held, but slowly, inevitably, they fell. One by one, Jennifer's brothers and sisters in arms were overwhelmed. The footage showed Gunny Chen taking a claw to the chest, blood spraying. His last words were clear: "Reeves, your squad leader now. Hold the line." Then it was just Jennifer. The aliens leaned forward as they watched what happened next. Jennifer didn't panic, didn't freeze, she moved. She fell back to a prepared position, triggering the charges her squad had placed. The explosion collapsed half the corridor, narrowing the approach to just 2 meters. The Kethros had to come at her in smaller numbers now. But they still came. For 16 hours. The footage time-stamped every moment. The counselors watched Jennifer fight with a precision that seemed almost mechanical, yet there was something more, an adaptability, a creativity that no machine could replicate. When her rifle overheated, she switched to her sidearm. When ammunition ran low, she used Kethro's weapons. When those failed, she used the debris around her, sharpened metal pipes, pieces of the station itself. She set traps using damaged electrical conduits. She triggered life support failures to flood sections with vacuum. She used the station's damaged gravity plating to her advantage, dropping enemies into crushing gravity wells or sending them floating helplessly into her line of fire. But most terrifying to the watching aliens was the cold efficiency. No wasted motion, no unnecessary risks, just relentless, calculated violence. "Pause," commanded Thexvar. The footage froze on Jennifer's face, blood splattered but focused. "You show no fear, no hesitation, how?" Jennifer met his compound eyes. "Fear doesn't help, counselor. Fear makes you slow, makes you stupid. I was scared the entire time, but I couldn't afford to let it control me. My mission was clear: hold the corridor. Everything else was just problem solving." The Nexaran counselor pulsed bright blue. "Problem solving. You describe combat against overwhelming odds as problem solving." "Yes, counselor, each wave presented a problem. Limited ammunition, problem. Multiple approach vectors, problem. Overheating weapons, problem. I solved each problem as it arose." Kevin stepped forward. "This is what the Council fails to understand about humanity. We don't have the Vraxians' natural armor. We don't possess the Peltharians' strength or the Nexaran's energy manipulation. We're not even particularly fast or large, but we are adaptable, and we are stubborn." He activated another display, showing statistics. The average galactic soldier is trained for 12 weeks before deployment. Humans train for 6 months minimum. The average engagement lasts 2 to 3 hours before galactic forces withdraw to reassess. Humans have held positions for days, weeks, months, because we don't see retreat as a tactical option. We see it as failure. A smaller delegate, barely a meter tall and covered in soft fur, spoke in a trembling voice. "But the cost, the trauma, how do your soldiers survive such experiences mentally?" Jennifer's expression softened slightly. "We don't all survive it, counselor. I spent 3 months in psychological rehabilitation after Artemis. I have nightmares, I probably always will, but we have each other, other Marines who understand. We carry our fallen with us in here." She touched her chest. "Gunny Chen's last order was to hold the line. I held it for him, for my squad, for those 6,000 civilians." Kevin brought up final statistics. "Since humanity entered the galactic stage 5 years ago, we've participated in 17 conflicts. Our kill ratio averages 287 to 1. Not because we're better armed. Most of you have superior technology. Not because we're stronger or faster, but because when we commit to a position, to a mission, to protecting something we value, we simply do not break." Thexvar stood, his massive frame towering over the podium. "Ambassador, if I may ask a difficult question, what is the human warrior's philosophy? What drives this relentlessness?" Jennifer answered before Kevin could. "Counselor, every Marine learns a saying from our old wars. No better friend, no worse enemy. We fight like this because we're protecting something, someone. When you threaten what we care about, you're not facing a soldier. You're facing someone who has decided that your existence is less important than their mission. It's not personal, it's just math." The chamber remained silent as her words settled over them. Finally, the Nexaran counselor pulsed a soft, respectful gold. "The council convened to understand why humanity requested so few forces be assigned to critical defense positions. We thought it arrogance. We understand now. It's mathematics. One human Marine holds what would require a battalion of our finest. Kevin nodded. We don't ask for glory, counselors. We don't seek to diminish your warriors. But when you assign defensive positions, understand what one human Marine represents. Not just a soldier, but someone who will die before they fail their mission. Jennifer stood at attention as the council members processed this information. She thought of her squad, of Gunny Chen, of every Marine who'd held every impossible line throughout human history. This wasn't about superiority, it was about duty, about the unspoken promise every Marine made, that they would stand between chaos and the innocent, no matter the cost. The Vraxian counselor finally spoke, his voice carrying new respect. Sergeant Reeves, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I apologize for doubting your record. Your species has taught us something today about the nature of true warriors. Jennifer allowed herself a small smile. Sir, I'm just a Marine. I did my job. Any one of us would have done the same. As the session adjourned, delegates approached to examine the data more closely, to understand the impossible mathematics of human warfare. But Jennifer's mind was already elsewhere, thinking of her next assignment, her next mission. Because somewhere in the galaxy, someone would need a line held. And Marines didn't break.